and I did get knocked out.
I was on fire.
I got zapped with 220 volts.
Had to get my head stapled back together.
It's gross, man.
I had pyro go off on my body once. If I wouldn't have been wearing a mask over my head, I would have burnt my face for sure. And I probably, if I wouldn't have been wearing in-ear monitors that had some sort of kind of filter in them, I probably would have really hurt my eardrums too. I was on fire, and it was all humans making mistakes. Number one, I went up on a song that we added last minute, and I forgot it was a pyro song. So I walked up, and, but however, I would say, well, if you saw me walk up, why'd you light me up?
Warped Tour 2011, Andy, it says you fell from a pillar while performing and you broke your ribs, and this caused you guys to miss the first week of the tour.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, that's pretty close to... We were playing a record release show for our second record at Hollywood and Highland Mall. I wanted to do something impressive and fun, so I climbed up onto these marble pillars, but I was wearing cowboy boots with no traction on them. So I got up there and realized immediately that it was like trying to walk on butter. Like there was no exit strategy. Because I couldn't jump back down because I couldn't, I would have killed people if I tried to jump down because it was a thin wall separation. So it wasn't like I could crowd surf or dive.
Okay.
Because I would have hit another pillar trying to jump back out. So I just had to go, well, maybe I can launch myself insanely back onto the stage. That did not work out. I don't know if you've seen the footage. I broke 3 ribs, 9, 10, and 11. The third rib, I do not have much of anymore. It shattered literally into like pieces of bone inside me, which I had to pass as calcium deposits using an enema every day for 2 weeks.
Oh my God.
So I'm missing a rib, and I used to have to put bottles up my butt to make the rib come out.
Okay,
So-
wait. So a rib can travel from your chest out your ass?
Well, it has to calcify, and it becomes like protein deposits within you. So essentially, it's not like you're eating it. It's just you have to pass it like anything out of your system.
What does it look like when it comes out?
Oh, it's nothing. It's just
No?
within your feces and stuff. Like it's fucking gross, man.
It's fucking weird.
I finished the show, by the way, with all the bone pieces in me. No idea where I was. Insane.
respect
Started
that.
calling out songs we'd never played live.
We're not playing that one.
Breaking my rib, falling off stage. I fell off a stage and landed on my back. Went and saw a doctor after. He's like, yeah, it's definitely cracked. What do I do about it? He's like, try not to do that again. I don't know. So that sucked, having to perform for the rest of the next 2 tours with just trying to scream, push everything out, and just feel like got a dagger.
I hit my head on tour and cracked my skull. Not skull, but I had to get my head stapled back together right before we were supposed to go on to play in, I want to say Milwaukee. And I hit my head and started bleeding. It's like, I'm on in 10 minutes or something. And came into the dressing room, and it's like people are, what's the matter? It's like, I hit my head, can you have a look? And there's like, oh my God. And I was like, is it bad? Yeah. Oh shit, okay, but yeah, we're going on then. So I have to just get this out. And then the paramedics came to take a look, and they said this is not good. And at that point I started going pale. And so we canceled the show. But I was 5 minutes before I was ready. But then I started feeling sick. So I got 7 staples in my head. And it hurt. It wasn't that bad. I remember when I was a kid, somebody threw a stone at my hand. And I got plaster around, like a... that hurt like hell, I remember. But I've been fortunate. I haven't hurt myself that many times.
After developing tinnitus in 2002, you suffered from a pretty major bout of depression.
Yeah, that sounds kind of...
You'd say so, yeah.
That sounds pretty extreme.
That's ringing in the ears,
yeah,
if anyone doesn't know. I've got that too.
Oh, you do?
So I know what you mean.
It's a drag.
It is, but really, at the end, it's more of a mental game.
It is.
To get past it. But yeah, I got it when I was 18 from going to too many shows.
That's
Wear earplugs.
That's right. Wear those earplugs.
And every show, beyond that, I absolutely wear earplugs.
That's good. And it's funny because, you know, when you're young, you have the older folks saying, you know, take care of your ears, and you're like, oh, come on, you know.
Yeah.
Because, you know, with the volume, it gets you the goosebumps, and it's so intense.
Of course.
But then you wake up one day and you're like, what is this ringing? Why can't I hear as well?
I know,
What is
yeah.
happening here? And then it makes all the things they said, you know, they were right.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you just have to take care of your ears.
Yeah, it's a bummer. And also, like, earplugs weren't really socially acceptable
No.
back then. It's like if you wore earplugs, you felt like a goober.
You feel like a goober. A goober.
You know, it was more important to not look like a goober. But nowadays, put in those earplugs.
That's right.
Everyone's got them.
Although wouldn't you admit that when you put in earplugs, it's kind of like a sonic condom?
It is.
It kind of has the same effect, you know. It's like it doesn't feel as good when you put it in. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
This is going really south really quick.
Yes. But wear condoms.
Where?
In 1987, you almost died of asphyxiation after a safety rope broke during a concert stunt where you were pretending to hang yourself.
Well, we did the hanging all the time, and in order to do the hanging, you had to do it correctly because the guys from Hollywood showed us how to do it.
Yeah.
You know, if you're going to do it, really make it look right. When you go up to the gallows, which is a real gallows, they bring the rope down, puts a rope around your neck. What you don't see is the piano wire down the back of the rope.
Okay.
That is 1 inch shorter than the rope. So when you fall through the thing, it stops you before the rope hits you, but it stops.
Mm-hmm.
Every night, right there. And it makes you can flip and you're hanging there. That's the trick. Well, after doing it 100 times, it was fine. And it worked every night. In rehearsal in London. It didn't happen in a show, it happened in a rehearsal. So that was one of the fallacies.
Yeah.
Never thought that maybe the piano wire might start getting a little bit old.
After a while.
Yeah. And snap. And as soon as I heard that snap, your self-preservation takes over. I felt the thing, as soon as I felt it more pressure than it should be, I snapped my head back and it went over like that.
Okay.
If I would have had like a Jay Leno chin, it would have caught me, and it would have been
Bad news.
really bad news.
Yeah.
But as soon as that went like this, I put my head up and it slipped up. It burned me pretty good.
Ooh.
The rope burned me pretty good, and I did get knocked out when I went down through the floor because I dropped 8 feet, you know, and just boom, you know. But it was momentarily. I woke up and I went, "What was that?" And I looked at the rope and I looked at the wire was snapped. Because the next day we had a wire on there that would hold like an elephant, you know.
Sure.
The wire went from that big to like that big.
Probably smart. Yeah.
And
it's worked.
But you know, the next time I did it, there was never a moment when you did that where when that floor drops out, it takes your breath a little bit. You go, because there's that moment of, oh, okay, I'm okay, I'm all right. And it's the same thing with the guillotine. Tonight when he's the one that pulls the thing.
Wow.
You know, there's that moment of going, die, die, die. As soon as I hear that thing going, I'm going, and then, you know, I go, okay, I'm okay.
Once we were playing in Belfast, Ireland, and I kind of, my knees, it wasn't dislocated, but it just made me fall because it wasn't solid, twisted. So I fell on the drum kit, and I already had a problem on my shoulder, and I dislocated my shoulder while I fell on the drum kit. So I finished 3 songs of the set with the dislocated shoulder, and then they rushed me to the hospital. And when I arrived in the hospital, there was a guy having a problem with the heart, like really bad heart attack or something. So I was right behind him, and there was just a small curtain separating us, and he was obviously screaming, and so I was with the shoulder out and freaking out. So it was a terrible, terrible night that I will always remember.
The inspiration for the song Shock Me came from an incident when you were electrocuted on stage.
Yeah.
You were knocked down from the jolt, and the concert was delayed for about 30 minutes, but you finished the show still, although you had lost feeling in one of your hands.
True.
All true. Like,
Scary.
It sounds scary. So are you on stage at this point playing, not feeling one of your hands, thinking, oh my God, is this permanent?
What had happened was, I never got down to the stage. I was on the top. It was the set where we had the 4 Marshall cabinets. I'd walk out on top, walk over, then walk down a staircase.
Okay.
Well, I walked over. I was just about to walk down the staircase. It was the beginning of the show. I grabbed the railing, and I wasn't grounded properly. I got zapped with 220 volts. But luckily, it knocked me back, not down, forward.
Boy.
It knocked me back, because if it knocked me forward, I would have dropped, 20 feet and broke my neck. So it knocked me back. My bodyguards came up, dragged me off, and I had burns on my hand. And I had lost feeling in it. And it took me, a good 10, 15 minutes, but the audience started chanting Ace, Ace. And that got my adrenaline going and brought me back to life, and I finished the show. But I couldn't feel anything in the hand.
How long did it take to get the feeling back?
Came back the next day.
Okay.
Came back slowly. I soaked it in warm water, and that helped bring it back.